Hey everybody, Spy4360 here. I'd like to talk about your progression for Switch Axe, all the way from low rank to endgame. And obviously there's going to be major spoilers, so if you don't want to hear that, maybe click off at the points where you get spoilers. I'm going to talk about low rank and then high rank and then endgame. So I'll give like a little bit of a warning before we transition into the next phase. Before we get into the video, I'd like to say I stream by daily, so if you'd like to see live gameplay, check out these links. And we also have a squad, so if you'd like to join a squad and join hunts live, or you just want help, we're a very helpful squad. We can get you sauced up. Here's the link. Just send me a request and you'll get in. All right. Without further ado, let's look at armor. Before we go into armor, I'd like to talk about some armor skills that are pretty good for Switch Axe.
Hey.
They're actually on weapons, so
Got something in mind?
oops.
Say bar.
Yeah, we're just gonna go down the list and show off some weapons. Yeah, so this has rapid morph. You can see it on the right over there. Actually, it's like right here. Rapid morph is pretty good. It's it increases the speed of which you switch, and then level 2 and level 3 increase your attack by 10 and 20% respectively. I did some testing with this off stream. It's an alright skill, but there's other ones that you want to be looking for. So, focus is a good one, because it makes you charge your sword amp state a lot faster. But once you get into like higher end combos with Switch Axe, it's pretty easy to get amped, so I wouldn't worry about it. And then the rest of these aren't really Switch Axe specific. But the one we're looking for is Power Prolonger. And you can kind of see not many of these have Power Prolonger. But yeah, this is the weapon that you're kind of going to be camping the whole game, is the Doshagama tree. You kind of switch out between the Doshagama tree and then the Expedition tree. The reason that you want to switch between these two on Switch Axe is because of the power file. Currently, the highest damage sets in the game are power files, and you won't need to switch out your Switch Axe for every monster. To like help out with elemental weaknesses and to keep your weapon viable. All you need is just power file big bonks, you know. The reason the Doshagama tree is particularly powerful is because it has Power Prolonger, and it has the highest raw of any Switch Axe nearly almost at every point in the game. There's a couple times where like other weapons beat out that Switch Axe, like I know that's the same. But yeah, there's a part where Hope Axe beats out the Doshagama Axe just because you can't fight the Doshagama yet, so you want to switch over to the Doshagama. Or switch over from Doshagama to Hope, and then back. But yeah, mostly you're going to be on Doshagama. And I don't want to go to the second half, because we're talking about low rank right now, right? But anyways, let's talk about armor.
Got something in mind?
So for the most part, you can kind of ignore all of these armor sets. I started the game with no armor at all, but I also speed ran Monster Hunter World. So I don't know if you want to do that. This game's actually kind of difficult starting out compared to like other Monster Hunters. There is one thing I'd like to say about defensive armor skills, is that they're kind of a trap. There's only a couple of them that I'd say are like actually helpful. Like defense boost is like the biggest trap because of how defense works. As you can see right now, I have 355 defense. Last night, I upgraded my armor. I went from like 310 to 355. And the same attacks that deal like a bunch of damage to me in the end game still deal a bunch of damage to me with nearly like a 11% increase to my defense, right? And defense boost gives you like a lump sum of defense, and then at the higher levels it gives you a percentage. So you kind of want to avoid it. The good defensive skills are Divine Blessing, which this piece of equipment has 3. Yeah, it's got the chest, the arms, and the legs have Divine Blessing. When you get 3 pieces of Divine Blessing, it gives you 50% chance. Oh, no, the chance is predetermined, but once it activates, you have a 50% damage reduction, which is pretty big. Another really good one, you can get it instantly, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. The Chainmail has recovery speed on it, which at the lower portions of the game, since you're taking so little damage, a lot of the damage that you're taking can be recovered just through like red health and like natural regeneration. When you get recovery speed, this doubles and then triples, also quadruples, but you can't really get that with just the starting armor. It's just these 2 pieces, right? So you could do 2 pieces of hope into 2 pieces of chainmail and be pretty solid. But outside of the basic gear, let's talk about your first set. I grabbed 2 pieces of alloy because they had quick sheath on them, but honestly, you don't need to do this. The first actual piece of armor that I got was the Doshigama set. So it's pretty far into low rank, right? But the Doshigama set doesn't really have that good of skills. It has free meal, which is nice. Free meal 3, so 45% of the items you use are just free, you know, you don't use it. Which is particularly good if you're trying to save supplies and gather as little as possible to get to the end game. But the biggest draw to this is Powerhouse. Grants temporary 10 attack after a successful power clash, which at this point in the game I think you have like 130 attack, right? So 10 is like 8% of your damage increase. That's only if you have 2 slots. If you have if you have 4 pieces of Doshigama, then it goes up to 25, which is like insane. That's almost like a fourth of your damage, which is nuts, right? You do have to do an offset attack, which switch axis offset is kind of clunky to get off, but if you do, big damage, big bonks, right? And then I just took the Balahara coil because it has evade extender, and evade extender is going to be a lot better for a lot of the monsters coming up, because spacing is a lot more important than iframes, just because a lot of the endgame monsters have like big hitboxes where like unless you're dodging perfectly and like in the right direction for every attack, you're still going to get hit. But if you have evade extender, you have the extra distance to like short hop through certain attacks and like dodge roll through certain attacks. So evade extender is pretty good. And then you can see I don't get anything again up until Uth-Duna. I get this peak performance piece of equipment. Actually, I don't know if you can yet. Yeah, you can't get this one yet, so ignore that. But that's something I get later. So there's 2 sets that you can do. Early on in the game, there's not a lot of raw options. So I actually did make a fire set with Guardian Rathalos, which is the head, and then the arms, waist, and legs. And this gives you 3 Wex, which is pretty nuts. And then it gives you Scorcher, which adds extra fire damage on every attack. And then Scorcher 2 adds even more on top of that. This is pretty good. It's just, again, Elemental isn't the best. Yeah. It's kind of a meme. There's certain Elemental builds that are like kind of viable late game, but again, it's only against like certain monsters. This is a nice side grade, because right when you fight Rathalos, you fight an ice guy immediately after this. So it's alright, you know. But this is the real sauce, the real juice. Guardian Ebony Autogaron gives you burst boost, which, let's just look at the set. So burst, if you hit 5 attacks, gives you extra elemental damage, just raw, it gives you 3 raw, and then status damage, right? But when you have the Autogaron set, you get burst boost. If you have 2 pieces of Autogaron, burst boost gives you an extra 10 raw, and then if you have burst boost 2, it gives you an extra 20 raw, which is pretty juicy. Also, the way that Switch Axe works, if you're hitting a sword strike and you're amped, that counts as 2 hits because you get the sword strike and then the amp pop, right? So basically, like, you switch to sword and then you do like a right click and you're already amped, right? Or you're already bursted, which is good. By the time that you do Ebony Autogaron, I think you can make this Uthduna male, which is pretty good. It's got peak performance and then like a slot. But this is just better because it has Flare. And Flare is more applicable for a lot more fights. But that's it for low rank. Again, for your weapons. Oh, actually, it's not it for low rank, because there's also talismans.
What are we making today?
You can kind of make any of these talismans. Also, I think there's some of these from high rank. But I made the Evade Extender because it's pretty easy to make. It's just Balahara and Nursilla. So you should just have this by the time you fight Nursilla, right? I think you can also get Wex this early on. Yeah. Oh no, you can't. This is high rank. Okay, so don't worry about that. But some other things of note that you should get, just to make like gathering stuff easier, is a botany and a geology charm. These are going to make your life a lot easier when you get in high rank. So let's talk about high rank, right?
Catch your eye?
So immediately, like I said, you want to make leather armor and chainmail armor. These give botanist and geologist respectively, and then it depends on like what decorations you've gotten. But if you have more geology decorations, then you want to wear the leather set and then put on the the talisman to fill in the slots. You want max geologist, max botanist, and you only really need 2 of these pieces. You want the head and the chest piece for both of these. You don't need the arms, but you want these 2, and then later on you've got Lalabarina. Yeah, and this gives you Honey Hunter. You can also do the Vespoid set, but then you have to hunt Vespoids. And it's kind of annoying. Like, I did 1 Vespoid quest in high rank, and I've only got 2 carapaces. And you need 10, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, after that, you can kind of see that I just didn't make any sets. This is for my costume. That's the funny glasses I have on. But there are some good side grades. Not that. This is also a costume I got. Wow, it's pretty far down. Even before Guardian Fulgur Anjanath, you can... Oh, did I pass it? Yeah, okay. You can make this pretty early on, just because the Balongo? I forget the name of the actual monster. But he's in like high rank from the get-go, and you can just kind of fight him whenever. But yeah, he's got Agitator 2, Agitator 2, and then Agitator on his legs and chest. And then you can also get Counter-Strike. And I believe War Spirit is also pretty juicy. Oh, nah. This is a funny one. I mean, you can do this if you want, if you're like a support. Using the 2 victory gesture moderately increases to attack to nearby alloys. I think this is like 10 and 20, respectively, which is pretty good. And he's a pretty easy fight. So it's if you're struggling for like defense, this is a good intermediary set. But I honestly just like waited out and actually let's go back up. I waited out and then just got the Guardian Ebony set again. I did the helmet, the arms, the waist, and the legs. And I got the beta pieces a little bit later. I initially started with the alpha pieces just because they have more stats. Like, you get max Divine Blessing with these, and if you don't have any, like, decorations yet, which you're just getting into high rank, I don't really expect anyone to have decorations at that point. It's really good, because it gives you a lot of extra stats. The bleeding resistance is kind of a meme, but, yeah. The main thing you want is the burst, which this has 5 burst on it. You specifically want the alpha pieces because it has 2 burst over the beta, which only has 1. And then you want to replace your chest, so you can do that with Max Might. But this is actually the build I'm using now is Guardian Fulgur, and we'll talk about that in a sec. But just for now, try to get Guardian Otogaron, his set, because it's really easy to get. A lot of people are hunting this guy. You can kind of just leech off of people. And then the replacement chest I used, you can use the new Uthduna. You wanna... Oh. They took off peak performance. I remember there being something good. Max Might's always good, so you can grab this. Yeah. But this is the one I made, is the Arkveld B. It's got a 3 slot and a 2 slot and Wex. So this is an incredibly efficient piece of equipment. I'm actually still using it now. It's so efficient. And then once you fight Gormagala and Arkveld, you can make the final set in the game that I use for Switch Axe. But we've got to talk about RNG.
You know where to find me.
Really quick. Let me show you the set that I'm using. And again, this set is kind of... it hinges on the fact that you need like a lot of gems for this. Once you hit HR 100, you can make these mighty gems and the counter gems. Anything that's a 2 slot and a 1 slot you can make, right? Getting a tenderizer gem could be kind of hard, and then getting an enhancer, a critical, and a critical, or I mean you can make this once you hit HR 100, but the enhancer and the critical are kind of rare. Getting any specific gem is like a 1 in 1,000. So good luck. Yeah. The thing I wanted to talk about is this weapon right here. This is a random weapon, so I wouldn't switch over to the set until you get a good random weapon. This is the Doshagama weapon. and it has -5 affinity, which is still good. It's just not really going to work for this set because it kind of hinges on you critting. But if we switch out to the ebony set, and we can keep this piece in. Actually, I'm not using the beta. You want to use the Guardian Alpha set because it has 2 burst on it. Yeah, so this set's still pretty good. It's got max burst, max might, power prolonger, attack boost, and then 1 level of wax. Oh, and two of agitator because of her challenger charm. You can use any charm. I might switch this out for Wex, just because Wex is a little bit better than Agitator in the sense that like Wex is always going, whereas Agitator you need the monster to be angry, which if you have less damage isn't really going to happen. One thing of note, I have 1 thing of handicraft to go from blue sharpness to white with this weapon, but to make the last Doshagama weapon, you need, well, just get some goofy glasses.
Anything catch your eye?
All of the last weapons, all of the orange weapons, require hunter symbols. There's hunter symbols 1, 3, or 1, 2, and 3, right? The Doshagama weapon needs hunter symbols 2. So let me just show you something really quick. So there are specific quests that give you hunting symbols. Hunting symbol 1s, you can see they're getting from Continuing Conflict. Actually, yeah, let me just do that. Continuing Conflict, Fur Damagings are dislike worthy. It's a tongue twister. And then Thundering Flowers, right? That's hunting symbol 1s. Hunting symbol 2s, which are the ones that you want, are Struggle to Survive, which you already need Autogaron stuff. So if you get to this point, I would just hunt, or I just do this over and over till you get the stuff you need. Echoing from the Cliffs, and then Troublemakers, which Troublemakers is really annoying. I would not farm that one if I was you. And then Hunter Symbol 3s you get from any tier 7 or 8 with Tempered Apex monsters. So that's like Raydao, Uthduna, New Udra, the Ice Guy, I forget his name, and then also Arkveld, that's his name, yeah. I think you need a couple Hunter Symbol 3s to upgrade your Talisman. Let me actually get back to full screen of this. But for the most part, just hitting 5 brings your attack from 210 to 230. So it's a pretty good increase. Also, you literally just need Doshagama stuff for this, so it's incredibly easy to do. Your talismans, when you're upgrading them... Oh, you can get a Geology 3, that's money. I'm actually going to make that really quick. I don't have any of the talismans I can show you, but they require hunting symbol 2s, so you need a lot of hunting symbol 2s. Yeah. Yeah, and finally let's talk about Arshan weapons. That's the thing that replaces
ancient technology.
Your Doshagama switch axe. I keep forgetting his name, I'm sorry. These are kind of dense mechanically. For the main part, you're going to want a power file, but to get a power file, you want to use 2 of a non-elemental element type. So if you use fire, water, thunder, ice, or dragon, and you use 2 of them, it'll give you an elemental file. You see I did 2 sleep, and it gave me a power file, right? And then I think if you put a 3rd sleep on, oh wow, it's still a power file. That's cool. I don't know how to get exhaust as a file, but if you do, actually I don't know if, oh no, I do have paralysis. There we go. Yeah, if you do, oh wow, that doesn't give you paralysis file either. That's crazy. Okay. Yeah. You get poison? Wow. Okay, yeah, so you can use 3 of any of the non-elemental stuff and you'll just get it. You'll get power file. Which is pretty money. That's cash. Dollar bills. So, I just like to talk about the stats of these weapons because they are pretty random.
Come back anytime.
Let me put on my old one so we can look at it. So, if we're looking at the switch axe, you can see that I used 3 attack infusions, and then I got a reinforcement bonus that we're going to talk about in a second. But this weapon starts out at, I think 180, right? So if you use an affinity infusion, you get 5% affinity, and then if you use an attack infusion, you get 5 attack, right? So the best thing to do is to get attack boosts, and then sharpness is also good, and then affinity is like a step below sharpness. But the best roll you're looking for is 5 attack boosts from this, and I'll show you how to get these reinforcement boosts in a second. But yeah, this is like the biggest grind in the game, is to get like a good weapon out of this. If you get like 2 or 3 attack boosts, I'd say you're solid. But when you make one of these, if you don't get any sharpness boosts, you start with 10 hits of white. If you don't get any affinity, you can see you get 5 affinity. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's kind of simple mathematically. It's just getting the materials. 1 is hard, 2, upgrading these is random.
Okay,
So let's just
try
make
few ancient
a
mysteries.
max attack sleep switch axe.
I'm ready to work.
So you can see that the switch axe has 195 attack.
All right.
Oops,
let's
went to
see
the
what
wrong
we can come
menu.
up with.
You want to reinforce it? And we got it right here. Yeah, so because we added 3 sleep things to it, we get an elemental effusion of 20. So this just does 20 extra sleep damage every hit, right? And then we've got 3 things of attack. And you want to add 50 orichalcite just to get your full reinforce bonus. And now we pray to RNGesus. Okay, I've said my quick prayer. Let's hit reinforce and see what happens.
I'm ready to work.
Wow. But this is like the worst roll I've gotten yet. We got elemental, 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 elemental. And then an affinity boost. So it's, yeah. Don't pray to RNGesus.
Doesn't love a little
He
ancient
only
technology.
fucks you over. Not actually. Yeah. This is actually a really good roll if you were to make an elemental switch axe. I've got this elemental switch axe over here. And you want to put affinity instead of raw onto these, just so you can, like, juice up crit element. But I only got one elemental boost on this switch axe, and you can see we have 310 dragon element on it, which is insane, right? And then I made this with 3 dragon pieces, and they were all affinity, and it gives you that plus 20 elemental infusion. So if we got 30, 30, 30, 30 on this switch axe, we'd be at 430 dragon element on this. That'd be insane. That'd be nuts. But again, you can only use that on dragon weak monsters. This switch axe that I use has 210 raw, and you can use this on any enemy in the game. It's incredibly potent. Now, really quick, how do you get the materials for that? You want to do investigations, but specifically, none of them are here. Always keep an eye out for, oh, actually there is one right here. You can see there's a tempered Jindahad in the ice cliffs. But I'm just going to show you the investigations that I've been collecting. So, finding gems is going to be a big grind in the end game. So you're going to want to do these non-tempered investigations, because they give you a lot of gems, right? I've got Arkfeld, Uthduna, and Jindahad, and they give you a ton of gems. You can see this one gives me like 6 armor ones and 5 weapon ones, right? And then all of these tempered ones, wow, this one gives me 4 and 4, and then 1 weapon. You can still get really good gem rolls on these. It's just for the most part you're going to get these red drops, which are those weapon pieces that I was telling you about. And then if you've got a bunch of weapon pieces that you don't want, you can also come to the melting pot lady and meld relics. And I would just toss all of like your old stuff that you don't need. Getting bloodstone chunks, you get those from breaking the blue wounds on tempered monsters. So that's also a good source of getting these. And then I throw away all of the affinity from poison, paralysis, and sleep, just because I'm not going to be using those at all. But literally anything you don't want, you can just throw it away, because Switch Axe doesn't use any of the discs, right? So just toss them. Same thing with tubes, just toss those. Yeah. But you can also meld decorations with any of the decorations that you don't need. Also just with like some like tickets and stuff you get from like quests. You can throw these into the juice and get stuff. But yeah, like crit element KO, I'm probably never going to use that, so you can get rid of that. The crit element blaze, which is really good, you can get rid of that. That's just like a full decoration. Or this is melding decorations. You want to go into Wyvern melding. And then this is the one for 3-star weapons, and then this is the one for 3-star armor pieces, right? Finally, before we go, I'd like to talk about how to get that juice. Let me grab this really quick. How do you get the orichalcium? There is a person in the Everforge who trades monster parts for orichalcite, or orichalcium. I don't know what it's called. And it's a pretty generous... Sorry. Okay, we're good. It's a pretty generous ratio that you're getting. You should actually teleport to the camp. It's faster of a walk, but it doesn't matter. So yeah, you just go over to the camp, and then at the main camp, this guy's gonna be right here. It's the same guy you make armor spheres at. And honestly, to finish out your armor spheres, you're probably going to want to do these first. But if you go to Smelt Ore and choose Ore Calcite, you get these bad boys. And I would just sort it by number and throw in whatever you have the most of. Just because once you start doing those investigations, you're going to get a lot of like Arkveld certificates, Jindahad tails. I've got 46 of those, holy shit. Yeah, ice plates, Gormagala carapaces, stuff like that. And you want 50 of these, which is actually kind of expensive, as you can see. Yeah, I got 50, and that's like 300 points worth of, or 300 materials that I threw in here, which is kind of goofy. But yeah, once you get 50, you can start rolling. Oh my god, what? You see that quest? Oh my god. Oh, it's just ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that's alright. We'll save that. You also want to be checking these because you could get good investigations literally at any time. I wish they didn't pop up on the right like that. Just because you can't open your map when those are on your screen. But it doesn't matter. So when you dismantle one of these, you get your Ore Calcite back, which is cool. You can see it gives you 50 back for these. So you literally just need the 50 to start rolling these to try to get good ones. The process of getting good ones is just the hard part. I'd say the best raw would be if you use 3 attack-infused blast weapons, or attack-infused blast parts, and then you get 5 attack rolls, right? But good luck. Doing that is a 1 in 3,000, and I've probably done at least like 50 of these hunts, and this is how many blades I have. I've got a lot of ice and ice attack infusion blades, which is kind of cool. But yeah, if you use 2 ice, it gives you elemental file instead of power file, which isn't as good. But I digress. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the progression. Once you get to the part where you're literally gambling, there's not really much else to do other than buy like 10,000 of each item in the shop, right? Like I'm maxed out on potions. You want to do this for all of these too, but that's like ultra endgame. So if you're there, you've got different problems. Whoa, look at him.
I heard from the others.
That's a really cute cat set. Okay, yeah, that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, comment, all that good stuff. If you want to see something specific, just let me know. I'll try to give you as much information as possible. But yeah, I'm going to be live every other day, so if you'd like to see live gameplay, check me out. Bye-bye!